just hope this works. Alright, I think it's running. I have not used this camera in ages. You're just looking at my porch here with the lights. Just for something to stare at while I talk. My son is inside asleep, so I don't want to wake him up. But I wanted to get this done and uploaded. Alright. Cosmic Matrix to cover everything from UFO, paranormal, ghost sightings, spirituality, all inclusive. Leaves a lot of room to cover a lot of topics. What I want to do with this particular video is I want to establish my own experiences, get it on the record, so to speak. So, sometime back, about April 7th, 1995, it was around 7 in the evening. I had been up in Gallatin, Tennessee, doing a little shopping. My son was in the back seat asleep. My daughter, who was a baby at the time, was with my mother up here at my Aunt Sandra's house. And I had gotten off work, gotten my son, and went to get my shopping done. And it was a little after 7. I was headed back to Hendersonville, where I lived, and then was going to come up here, which is out in the country between Springfield and White House, Tennessee. Okay. So, a little after 7, I'm on the bypass. It's called the Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. We all call it the bypass. And I was headed towards Hendersonville from Gallatin. And my exit was New Shackle Island Road. As I came down the bypass, I looked off. Just something to the right caught my eye. There's nothing but a few suburbs over in that area at the time. And you could see planes flying overhead everywhere, because on the other side of Old Hickory Lake is Nashville Airport. So I saw all these lights and didn't think nothing of it, but this one set of lights caught my eye because it was going lower and lower and lower. As I approached my exit, I thought, oh my God, I hope it's not a plane that's about to crash. And at the time, I was a certified nurse technician, trained in first aid and everything, and in my mind, I'm getting psyched up, ready to have to deal with something really horrible, right? I had my cell phone, which at the time, I just had a flip phone, but didn't have a camera. Anyway, I pulled off of the exit. My son's asleep in the back seat. And I pulled off the road, the emergency lane, and got out of the car. And I was watching these lights, and as it got to New Shackle Island Road, it turned and came right at me. Now, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And I see this thing coming at me. And it was huge. It was nothing like what I thought. Here, my mind is set for some kind of crazy plane crash. And this thing, I called it a flying gantry because it was so dark. It was like it was sucking in all the light around it. But you could perceive shades of black. It was like looking just like at a gantry that supports a rocket with all the ironwork, the framework. And it was shaped like a pyramid, but the edges of it weren't sharp edges. They seemed to be rounded, but it was just shades of black. Underneath it, there were little red dim lights at each corner. Excuse me, and a light in the center. Now, there was absolutely no sound. And anyone that knows about this area knows there's always traffic on New Shackle Island Road and the bypass. Always. All hours of day and night. For the time that this took place, I do not recall seeing any cars or even hearing any sound. It's like there was no sound on no insects, nothing. I could not even hear this thing as it was coming at me. I could have picked up a rock and thrown at it and hit it. It was that close. it went right over the top of me. It seemed to kind of slow down and pause a little. There was no sound, but my bones were vibrating. It was like this really deep hum vibration. Boom, 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 kind of. It just really deep. And you couldn't hear it, you just felt it. And I was just standing, I know my mouth had been wide open in shock, absolute shock. I could not believe what I was seeing. So this thing went right over my head, and as it went past me, then it turned right and went down the bypass and just poof, disappeared, like it never existed. What the heck was that? I can't tell you. All I know, it was more of a pyramid shape. On the bottom it looked like a triangle, which this is in 95. This is before there were all those reportings of triangle sightings. And I didn't know who to call. Who do you talk to? You know, I figured if I called the police, they think I was some kind of nut, and it was a crank call. I had put the report on online with somebody. It disappeared. And then many years later, I refiled it with somebody else. And I actually stumbled on that it was still on the site. I can't remember right offhand which one it was on. I can put that in the information section if anybody wants to go and read it. But now, when you experience something like that, it stays with you. You never forget it. It's such an intense experience. Now, from my point of view, my perspective, there is more to this than just what you physically see with your eyes. But that is something I'll go into in another video. But for now, I just wanted to get this on the record. This is why I'm so very much interested in digging into this and hearing other people's stories. So if you have any kind of experience like that you've had, I would absolutely love to hear what you have seen, what you have experienced. Thank you for watching. Be blessed, and see you in the next video.